Hey folks, welcome to another video from A Plain Truth. I wanted to get into a little bit of a legalese since very few people understand or know how and why we are under a corporate rule, corporation. It's all part of this game they play in legalese under Roman Latin law, which very few people can even tell you what the word Latin means. And why are we under Roman Latin law? Why do we go to the courtroom and get served like a tennis match? And we have water with the bailiffs and the dockets and the judge in his all black ruling down up his 3 steps through the gates of the docket there. And they put us on our citizenships, relationships, partnerships, ownerships. We're all on ships, folks, because we're under admiralty law. And that's why the yellow fringe is around the flags in the courtrooms and where the president talks. Because we're under corporate rule, corporation, dead entity, corpse. All right, so let's get into how we got put into the CEO of a corporation and who the CEO is. It started way back February 21st, 1871. Know that date. It's the date we all got put on our ships and took away our liberties, our rights that were unalienable, but they found a way to alienate it. So since 1971, the United States President and the United States Congress have been playing politics under a different set of rules. The American people do not know that there are 2 constitutions in the United States. The first penned by the leaders of the newly independent states of the United States in 1776. Well, I question that. We'll get into that in a minute. But again, the people claimed their independence from Britain and democracy was born. For 95 years, the United States people were free and independent. That freedom ended in 1871 when the original, quote, Constitution for the small cap United States of America was changed to the large capitalized, the Constitution of the United States of America. That's why your driver's license, your social security card, your birth certificate, your bank statement, they're all in capital letters because you joined the corporation. You are part of their system when you join their corporation. You are a legal entity. You have no standing except to have recourse for any losses or anything that's due to you, but you have no standing as a human being, as a person in the eyes of the courts. You're chattel or cattle. You do not exist as a human being. That's what they did here. With no constitutional authority, Congress created a separate form of government for the District of Columbia. Again, what is the District of Columbia? What is it a district of, and why Columbia, if not it's named after Columbus, who never even made it to the United States? In fact, he came back with 14 galleon ships and raped and pillaged the people of Haiti on his return. He is no hero of this country or any country. In fact, this country is a legal document. It does not exist except in legalese where they say this border you can do this and you step across this dirt here and you can't do that. All based on legalese set up under Roman Latin law. The attorneys are bar attorneys. They have to be registered with the court. Regis means crown. So they're crowns of the court, registered to crowns of the court. And bar means British Accredited Registry, BAR. And all U.S. attorneys are members of the bar. The bar's corporation is registered in Puerto Rico and owned by the city of London. Think about that next time you hire a lawyer. And when you hire an attorney or a lawyer, legalese-wise, you're declaring yourself incompetent in the eyes of the law. With the Passage Act of 1871, a city-state, a state within a state called the District of Columbia, located on 10 square miles of land in the heart of Washington, was formed with its own flag, its own independent constitution, the United States' secret second constitution. The flag of Washington District of Columbia has 3 red stars, each symbolizing a state within the 3-city empire. The 3-city empire consists of Washington, D.C., London, and the Vatican City. The Constitution for the District of Columbia operates under tyrannical Vatican law known as Lex Fori, or local law. When Congress passed this Act of 1871, it created a separate corporation known as the United States and the corporate government for the District of Columbia. The President of the United States is Chief Executive and President of the Corporation of the United States, operating as any other CEO of a corporation, and governs with a board of directors. That's why you have a treasurer, you have a secretary, just like your corporations, Inc., and the managers are the senators and the Congress. Also notice that the overseers of the District of Columbia is Congress itself, located in the same city-state. just like City of London is a city-state, and also the Vatican is a separate city-state. All right? So the CEO of the corporation governs with the board of directors. Obama's others before him operating as, quote, vassal kings, end quote, taking orders once again from the City of London through the Royal Institute of International Affairs. Why are we taking orders from the City of London, folks? Why are we doing that? Well, it's because we're under corporate rule, and that's under Admiralty law, and the owners of the corporate charter is the City of London. The corporate papers, again, the United States Code is domiciled in Puerto Rico. All right, so moving on. The Illuminati, founded by the Society of Jesus of the Jesuits, Knights of Malta, the largest Roman Catholic religious military order, headed by the Black Pope, created the Royal Institute of International Affairs in 1919, 9/11. Also notice that 1871, February 21st, is also 9/11. The American equivalent of the RIAA is the Council of Foreign Relations. They set up the round table groups based on King Arthur's myths. The Act of 1871 put the United States back under British rule, which is British rule is under Vatican rule. The United States people lost their independence in 1871. The Constitution of the United States of America, capital letters, is the Constitution of the Incorporated United States of America. It operates as an economic capacity and been used to fool the people into thinking it governs the republic. Capitalization is not insignificant when referring to legalese. This seemingly minor alteration has a major impact on every subsequent generations of clueless Americans. What's an American? Central American? South American? Canadian? Who are we referring to as we're talking about Americans? United Statesians, should we say, folks? See how they confuse, obfuscate, opaque, make us talk in Babylon like hell-o? If we're insane, are we in our sanity? Are we schooled like fish, and that's why they cast spells in school? They're telling us what they're doing, folks. It's in plain sight, hidden. What Congress did by passing the 1871 is create an entirely new document, a constitution for the government of the District of Columbia, an incorporated government. Instead of having absolute and unalienable rights guaranteed under the organic Constitution, one example is the sovereign's right to travel. Now you have to have passports, then you're going to have to have biometric IDs, soon you're going to have to be vaccinated to travel. It's all coming, folks. Wake up. As of 1871, the United States isn't a country, it's a corporation. The USA is a crown colony. The USA has always been and remains a British crown colony. Again, the USA is a crown colony. The USA has always been and remains a British crown colony. King James I is not famous for translating the Bible. No, it was Francis Bacon, the Freemason founder, who helped author the King James Bible that everybody gives teething to and cites and says the Bible says. Folks, the Bible doesn't say anything. It doesn't speak. It's not a speaking Bible. Correct your English. All right, but the signing of the first charter of Virginia. Now, this is where Jamestown, where the Freemason boat came in and brought in Andrew White, the first Archbishop of the United States, after which the White House is named, here again, 6-6, which granted America's British forefathers license to settle and colonize America. Remember, King James gave tens of thousands of acres to a bunch of rich white guys, and the rich white guys who owned land that was given to them by the British wrote the Constitution that said, we the people, and a contract cannot be assigned. So when they said, we the people, they were referring to them, the rich white guys that the British gave all the land to. Are you getting this yet? The charter guaranteed future kings, queens of England would have sovereign authority over all citizens and colonized land in America. After America declared independence from Britain and the Treaty of Paris signed on September 3rd, 1783, again, 9/11 was signed. That treaty identifies the King of England as the Prince of the U.S. Quote, Prince George III, by the grace of God, King of Britain, France, and Ireland, defender of faith, Duke of Brunswick and Lunenburg, architect. And Prince Elector of the Holy Roman Empire and the United States of America, end quote, completely contradicting the premise that, quote, America won the War of Independence. April 5 of that treaty gave British all the estates, rights, and properties back to Britain. Article 5 of the treaty gave all British estates, rights, and properties back to Britain. It is agreed that Congress shall earnestly recommend to the legislatures of the representative states to provide the restitution of all estates, rights, and properties which have been confiscated belonging to the real British subjects, and also of the estates, rights, and properties of the persons resident in districts in the possession of His Majesty's arms and who have not borne arms against the United States. All right, so another thing to look at is the word register. Regis means crown, stir means to enroll. All right, the other word we need to talk about is resident. President, P, capital P, is the principal. Res means property or thing. R-E-S, res, property or thing. Ident is to identify. So the principal, the president, capital P, is the principal that oversees the property or thing that we have identified. They got us with the name game. It is agreed that all Congress shall earnestly recommend to the legislatures of the respective states to provide the restitution of all state rights and properties back to the British after the war. They gave them all their land back. Furthermore, it is agreed that all persons who have any interest in confiscated lands, either by debts, marriage settlements, or otherwise, shall meet with no lawful impediment in the prosecution of their just rights. Why are we giving all the property back to the British after we defeated them? Hang together or hang separately, Benjamin Franklin famously said, allegedly at the Constitutional Congress. Now we're learning it's all a big freaking lie. So what is replaced what so many call the shadow government created with the illegal passing of the Act of 1871, or today referring to it as the deep state? This is what they're talking about. It still, for the most part, operates in secret because its control is not secure. The exposure of this regime and its operations now become a primary duty of the citizens who still belie in the rule of law and freedoms of this country. It's not a country, folks. It's a corporation. Just like the IRS is a corporation domiciled in Puerto Rico, and your tax returns go one way and your tax payments go another. Why is that? Because it all goes to the Crown of England, the City of London. That's where your tax payments, that's who you work for. All right. The Independent Treasury Act of 1921 suspended the de jure, meaning the right of legal establishment, Treasury Department of the United States of the government. Why is the Treasury Department under the Commerce Department? Our Congress turned the Treasury Department over to a private corporation, the Federal Reserve, and their agents. The Federal Reserve is no more federal than Federal Express. It's a corporation. The bulk of the ownership of the federal system, a very well kept secret from their American citizens, is held by these banking interests. So I ask you folks, does this flag look familiar to you? Red, white, and blue with red and white stripes. This is the flag of the East Indian Tea Company that allegedly up in Boston, the new shelter in place with two 19-year-old kids with pressure cookers, was the beacon of liberty for the alleged United States of America creation by the Protestants. And they chose Betsy Ross, another big lie that she created the flag, chooses this exact same colors as the British flag and the East Indian Tea Company for the United States of America, new independence flag as their symbol. This is the story they've sold you. And here we see the colors, red, white, and blue. Why are all the flags, when they can pick any colors in the spectrum, red, white, and blue? Because they're all on the same team. Every country is owned by the corporations of the Vatican, the City of London, and Washington, D.C. Separate city-states beholden to no other country, make their own laws, their own constitution, their own banking, their own police force, and no one's the wiser. And then why all the red crosses, folks? Again, why all the red crosses? What is the symbol of the red cross? Where do we see the red cross in other places? Well, we see it in the legends of the alleged Christopher Columbus and his Spanish galleon ships that came with the Red Cross on it. That's pretty obvious to everybody. We see the American Red Cross failing to give aid, the CEO making almost $750,000, and nobody gets to see the money from the Red Cross. And here we see it in the double X's, right? Exxon, EXX, that's a double cross. They're double crossing you. Nabisco, all these different symbolisms of the Red Cross. The red cross is the crescent of the Knights of Malta. It's used by them to identify their territory and their ownership. And we have many members of the Knights of Malta. You may recognize some of the names on here, folks, because they're all people that you hear about. Frank Sinatra, Cardinal Francis Spellman, the Dulleses, who are the CIA directors, William F. Buckley, Prescott Bush. Recognize any of these names, folks? They're all members of these secret societies and secret clubs that we're not a part of. And it's called the Knights of Malta. The Black Pope is 6 levels above the White Pope, and he oversees everything the White Pope that you see and you hear about does. And there's one more thing before we wrap this up, and this is called the Fasces, or the Liquor. You see this right here? You just had a picture of President, what's his name? Trump, I guess they're calling him, is in front of the Lincoln Memorial with his family, first time ever, Well, he's standing in front of the Fasces. And this is what it is, folks. The Fasces was back in the days of the Roman General Council, back in the ancient Roman days, when the Roman Council would pass laws. They would walk, the soldiers would walk around with these liquors or these Fasces, and what you see here is these are caning rods. Okay, this is a caning rod that if you didn't like the new laws, they'd cane you, they'd beat you, they'd whip you. And if you really didn't like the law, this is an axeman's hench, and they would literally chop off your head if you did not like the laws. It's on the Lincoln Memorial. It's on the back of the dime, and it's on the State of the Union, where the resident, the president of the corporation, speaks to his subjects. And here they're even parading these liquors with the axeman's hench and the caning rods in a reenactment in our faces, folks. But here, the state capitol, or the Congress, where they make the president the State of the Union speeches. The 2 figures of bundles on the sticks to the left and right on the wall are called fasces. They're symbols of Rome's authority over the corporate United States. And here in the Union Address of State of the Union, disunion, your abomination here talking, there's the fascist symbol here. Same symbols as they used in Nazi Germany. They're all on the same team. And then here, over here, is the mace used to restore order. When a member becomes unruly, the sergeant at arms, in order of the speaker, removes the mace from its pedestal and presents it before the offenders, thereby restoring order. Order de chaos. Order out of chaos. This is how they rule, and that's how they own us on our ownerships. So we have to stop giving them our power, reclaim the author of your authority. And rights are not gifts from the government. We're born with them, folks. You have to declare them. You have to state and stand up for them. You have to fight for your very life, for the rights to be the author of your own authority. So speak out, be heard, get off the drip, grow your own food, know where your water comes from. Where does your energy come from? Until you become self-sufficient, self-reliant, or have a community that you can get your own power, your own water, and your own energy, your own food from, you're going to be beholden to the people that have you enslaved, who think of you as chattel, not cattle, who call you useless eaters, who call soldiers sold to die. Soldiers sold to die. That's why they give them dog tags. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They have just destroyed a town called Paradise of tens of thousands of people in California, and no one cares. No one's talking about it. We're all under attack. If you don't speak out now, when will you speak? When it's too late? So happy another day here on another ritual, Saturnalina, what they call Christ Mass, which is another pagan ritual that was overtaken by the Roman Catholics. We need to get off of their system. We need to get independent and authors of our own authority. All right. Enjoy the day. I hope this helped you understand why we're under Roman Latin law, why we're under the rule and the thumb and the rule of law. Is because we bend over and we accept it, and we don't challenge it. We don't question it because we don't understand or stand under our unalienable rights to be the author of our own authority. Tag, you're in. All right. Plain truth out. We'll catch you next video. Peace.